Shalom, shalom. Back out here again with another lesson. So why do you hop out shine? I can bring this working back out here again, get it done. And we want to bring and prophesy against this wicked ass kingdom, which is Babylon, aka America. Right? And today we're gonna do a breakdown on Isaiah chapter 47. 1 through 15, do a breakdown, and the thing says, the fall of Babylon. And that's pretty much what's going on right now, man. You know, that Babylon is deteriorating more and more each day. You know, wars, rumors of wars, the plagues, the earthquakes, all these different things, the famines, the pestilence, all this different stuff going on, you know. And right now, what's the most talked about is the Epstein Island files, and you know, the war with Iran and America. But this thing is wrapping up, man. You know, I just seen today, I'll grab a couple articles real quick. I just seen today, on one of them, it says, just the United States has assembled its largest military force in the Middle East since the 2003 Iraq invasion. You see that things are getting ramped up, man. You know, just a few weeks ago, you know, that Trump has sent, you know, warships over there in the Middle East Sea, the so-called Middle East of the seas. And, you know, the Iranian supreme leader, he said the U.S. president constantly says he has sent a warship toward Iran. Of course, a warship is dangerous. It's a dangerous piece of military hardware. And it says, however, more dangerous than a warship is the weapon that can send that warship to the bottom of the sea. So they send the threats back and forth. You know, in our reality, we know that Babylon the Great, aka America, is petrified of Iran. You know, because they went over there and went over there and over the spot where Mandoro is at, Venezuela. You know, took over that area. You know what I'm saying? Kidnapped Mandoro. I ain't gonna say kidnapped him. Took Mandoro, locked him up, set up shop, taking all their oil, selling their oil, making the money off their oil. You know, and now they trying to, you know, have peace talks with Iran. But Iran ain't trying to have no peace talks because America and Israel doesn't want Iran to have that uranium enrichment, which uranium enrichment, you know, helps makes the, you know, the bombs, the nuclear weapons, the nuclear bombs, right? And so America's making all these threats, trying to act so big and bad, but yet, you know, every week and every month they want to go over there in Iran and be in talks and negotiation, so Iran won't have these, you know, these nuclear weapons, uranium enrichment, right? Even right here it says Iran and Russia to begin joint naval exercises in the Sea of Oman and North Indian Sea and the North Ocean tomorrow. See? So, and what is that? Ezekiel 38. Gog and Magog is being a guard to the nations. You know, Russia got Iran strapped down. You know, with China got Iran strapped down. You know, all these different countries that's, you know, teaming up against America, China, North Korea, Russia, Iran, and all these other countries, they are teaming up together against Babylon the Great to watch this place fall. You know, you have inflation. You have, just today, Trump is putting tariffs on a whole bunch of, right here. Donald Trump, U.S. president, raises the global tariffs up to 15% from 10%. And he's steady pissing off these different nations, man. So, of course, you know, the Lord is going to use all this to, man, is setting up his power, thinking he's in power. He's boasting and bragging, you know, thinking he's the almighty power right now. And he got all this by himself. The Lord is going to bring this place crashing down, man. Even right now, it says France said European Union is ready to retaliate against President Trump's tariffs. Iran says U.S. officials accepted Tehran's uranium enrichment red line as both countries push for a fast nuclear deal. What else? Right here it says UK blocks Trump from using RAF bases for strikes on Iran. See, the UK and them, they know what's going on because Iran gonna shock the world. Iran, like I said, is getting strapped down, you know, by Russia, China, North Korea, giving them some of the assets because they know that when this stuff do pop off, that Russia is going to have to join in, China going to have to join in, North Korea going to have to join in, and they're strapping them down, praying to the God that they're not going to have to join in. In our reality, the Lord is going to make it that way because that's all prophecy. Because all the nations are going to have to get judged, right? Even right here, Trump officials plan to build 5,000 person military base in Gaza. Habakkuk chapter 2. You know, he is a proud man, never keep it at home, dude has over 800 military bases throughout the world, man, including here. That's why they bomb Gaza so many goddamn times. They trying to set up shop again, right? Right here, Iran closes airspace ahead of extensive missile launches. Right, so this thing is wrapping up more and more each day, man. So let's get into this lesson. We're going right here in the book of Isaiah chapter 47. It's the breakdown that says the fall of Babylon. So we'll get into it real quick. We're going to do the Isaiah 47 verse 1. It says, "Go sit in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground without a throne, daughter of Babylonians. No more will you be called tender and delicate." What's up? And see, so that's an express of humiliation, man. Because America has been so boastful, has been so proud, thinking that they got everything on their own, stealing all these different countries' resources, bragging and all these different things. The Lord is going to bring this place down low. So when it says, "Go sit in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne," that's America being knocked out of power, right? What else I was going to say? Also, too, because America haven't suffered any consequences. As you can see, they went over there and Venezuela, like I said, took Maduro, set up shop over there, took their resources, the oil, stealing their oil. Now they're selling it for themselves, taking their money. Same thing they're supposed to do with Cuba. They want to go to Mexico and take over there. Yep. Go to Mexico and set up shop over there. You know what I'm saying? And now they want to do the same with Iran. They want to make Iran bow down, but Iran is not going to bow down. So again, that's an express of humiliation. America's going to be knocked out of power. They're going to be sitting in dust because America is going to be a complete wasteland, full of a complete fucking desert, man. Right? So first we're going to go to the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verses 30 through 33. I think I already on there. Real quick. Oh, thank you. Daniel chapter 4, verse 30 through 33. And it says, as he looked at, this is when Nebuchadnezzar got too big for his britches, and the Lord was bringing this man down low because he was so boastful. And it says, Daniel chapter 4, verse 30, as he looked out across the city, he said, "Look at this great city of Babylon," aka which be America today. He says, "By my own mighty power, I have built this beautiful city as my royal residence to display my majestic splendor." Or who would be Nebuchadnezzar today? That would be Donald Trump. He's always bragging to make America great again. We got the greatest military might, the land of the brave, the land of the proud, the land of the free. Is very boastful, similar to what Nebuchadnezzar was saying back in the ancient times. And again, it says, as I looked out across the city, he said, "Look at this great city of Babylon. My own mighty power have I built this beautiful city as my royal residence to display my majestic splendor." Verse 31, while these words were still in his mouth, a voice called down from heaven, "O Nebuchadnezzar, the message is for you. You are no longer ruler of this kingdom." And that's what the Lord is telling this place of Babylon. He's going to bring this place down low. Bring this place down low. Donald Trump is no longer going to be the ruler of America because America is going to be knocked out of power. And when we say the end of the world, it's not the end of the actual world, it's the end of a rulership, right? Let's continue. And right now we're under Esau's rulership. And then next up will be us. Verse 32. You will be driven from human society. You will live in fields with wild animals, and you will eat grass like a cow. 7 periods of time will pass you while you live this way until you learn that the Most High rules over the kingdoms of the world and gives them to anyone he chooses. See that? So similar to what the Lord had did to Pharaoh, he hardened his heart to show his power. He's going to do the same thing here with America and Donald Trump. He's making Donald Trump seem like he's such this great power. He's such this confident, strong man. But in our reality, the man is immortal. He's dying slowly from the inside out. Right? Man got to put on tan, what is it? That tan shit that go on his body, a hair piece. Right? The same thing we did with Nebuchadnezzar. You will be driven from human society. You will live in the fields with the wild animals. You will eat grass like a cow. That's Esau and them knocked out of power going into slavery. Right? So just like how Nebuchadnezzar was brought down low, the place of America, Donald Trump, and everybody who lifts up this place is going to be brought down low as well. And then all of the Edomites will go into captivity for 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years, they're going to be wiped off the face of the earth. And again, he says, you will live this way until you learn that the Most High rules over the kingdoms of the world and gives it to anyone he chooses. Right? And so the Lord is going to show his power by bringing this place down low and showing Donald Trump and all these high elites that I am the one who gave you this power. I'm the one who set this up. you know? And that's why these people out there too bragful, they're too boastful. And the Lord has to come back and return because they're not giving him no credit, right? It says that same hour, the judgment fulfilled and Nebuchadnezzar was driven from human society. He ate grass like a cow and he was drenched with the dew of heaven. He lived his way until his hair was as long as eagle's feathers and his nails was like bird claws. And that's how we're going to have Esau and them change. Hair going to be all over the place. We're going to take him back to his natural state, the true brute beast that he is. And America's going to be a complete wasteland, right? So let's go back on Isaiah chapter 47. Right here, and it says, oh, Salakia. Isaiah 47:1, it says, go down, sit in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground without a throne, daughter of Babylonians. No more will you be called tender and delicate. Right? So let's go to Psalms 137:7-9. It says, O the Adonai Yahweh, remember what the Edomites did on the day of armies. Babylon captured Jerusalem. Destroy it, they yelled. Level it to the ground. Oh, Babylon, you will be destroyed. Happy is the one who pays you back for what you have done to us. You see that? So everything that Babylon has done and the Edomites has done to the nation of Israel, you know, because they've done us the worst. We was in captivity in a lot of different, you know, nations. You know, the Edomites have done us more worse than anybody. Right? Let's continue. It says, happy is the one who takes your babies and smashes them into the rocks. You see that? And so the babies are going to get, the whole Edomite generation is going to be brought down low and get put into slavery, man. Right? Jeremiah 50:39-42. It says, soon Babylon will be inhabited by desert animals and hyenas. God damn. It says, it will be the home of the fowls. Never again will people live there. It will lie desolate forever. And that's the state of America, aka Babylon. I will destroy as I have destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighboring towns, says Adonai Yahweh. No one will live there. No one will inhabit it. Look, a great army is coming from the north. A great nation, many kings rising against you from off lands. That's all these different nations coming up against America. They are armed with bows and spears. That's the nuclear missiles. They are cruel and show no mercy. As they ride forward on horses, they will sound like a roaring sea. They are coming for battle formation, planning to destroy you, Babylon. See, that's what's happening. Iran getting strapped up, Russia getting strapped up, China getting strapped up, North Korea, all these different nations is going to team up together and destroy America, aka Babylon, man. Right? So let's continue. On verses 2-3. And it says, take millstones and grind flour, take off your veil, lift up your skirts, bare your legs, and wade through the streams. Verse 3, it says, your nakedness will be exposed and your shame uncovered. I will take vengeance and will spare no one. So how are they being exposed right now? Jeremiah chapter 49:10, I believe. I will strip Esau bare. You know, and that's pretty much what they're doing now. You know, look at the Epstein Island files. They're embarrassing this man, putting these guys to shame. The people that y'all look up to, Donald Trump, you know, all your favorite athletes and entertainers, everybody, they all showing that they're doing blood sacrifices. You know, Billie Eilish just got exposed because she did a blood sacrifice and she's a top entertainer. You know, your boy Donald Trump, his documents came out and they trying to burn the documents to get rid of them because they're exposing these people true lovers, and because they so in love with Babylon, they so in love with America, they so in love with your actors and entertainers that these people can see that they do no wrong. Right? But the Lord is not sparing none, he exposed them. Right? And so, with that being said, you know, that's how the Lord is going. That's how the Lord is stripping and making Esau bare, exposing all his defenses, his secrets. You know what I'm saying? We all know who the man of lawlessness is now, the man of sin, and that's Esau, even the so-called white man. Right? Let's grab a precept. Ezekiel chapter 16, verses 37-38. This is what I'm going to do. I will gather all of your allies, the lovers of whom you have sinned, both those who love and those you hated, and I will strip you naked in front of them so they can stare at you. And America is a laughingstock right now. Like I said, look at the Epstein Island files. Look how America is slowly becoming a third world country. We're losing jobs more and more each day. You know, inflation is at an all-time high. You know, the crime rate is at an all-time high. You know, they got the alphabet, the LGBTQ. You know, the alphabet, the LGBTQ. They out here just doing what the fuck they want to do, saying what they want to say, promoting who they want to promote. You know, they're allowing these different laws to where they're allowing sex change for children under the age of 18. The food is poison, the water is poison. Their laws are anti-Messiah, which makes this place a laughingstock. You know, America is the country that has no discipline. You know, it does what the fuck it wants. It's all bullshit, man. It's all anti-Messiah. So the Lord said again in the book of Ezekiel, he said, Ezekiel 16:37-38, he says, both those you loved and those you hated, and I will strip you naked in front of them so they can stare at you. I will punish you for your murder and adultery. I will cover you with blood in my jealous fury. So all the confusion that this man has brought forth, all these different religions and false gods to set up to confuse the masses, you know, the Lord is going to embarrass this man. You know, covering all his secret places, you know, stripping his defenses, showing all his moves. America showing their hand more and more each day because they too bragful and boastful. Every time they say something, these other nations is taking down notes, man. Oh, he said this. Oh, they got this going on. Oh, okay, we're going to do it this way. They, you know, they can see through the bullshit because it's in the spirit. The Lord got everything riled up. Let's grab another precept from verse 3. Nahum 3 and 4 and 6 NLT. All because of Nevaeh, which would be aka America still, the beautiful and faithless city, mistress of deadly charms, and enchants the nations with her beauty. So America, you know, enticed the nations and flattered them with its lies and philosophies. The land of the great, the land of the brave, the land of the sea. When you boast and brag so much, it's kind of like these rappers and wrestlers. When they talk, you hear and speak, all they doing is bragging how great they are. You know, how beautiful they are, how powerful they are. And you hear so much, you start to believe it. Right? And all these other nations is sipping that Babylon juice. Right? So let's continue. It says, she taught them all her magic and enchanted people everywhere. I am your enemy, says the Adonai Yahweh, the Lord of heaven's armies. And now I will lift up your skirts and show all the earth your nakedness and shame, and I will cover you with filth and show the world how vile you really are. And that's what the Lord is doing. America is being put to shame. America is the laughingstock of the world today, man. A city, a country that was so great, had the greatest military might. You know, people will come here and say, hey, how's it go? Come here to live that American dream. They get here and realize this place is really, truly a fucking nightmare. Right? Let's continue, because it's cold as hell outside. Verse 4, our Redeemer, the Adonai Yahweh Almighty is his name, the Holy One of Israel, Yahweh Shai. It's verse 5, it says, sit in silence and go in the darkness, daughter of Babylon. No more will you be called the Queen of Kingdoms. Right? So the Lord is showing his power by bringing America down low. He's going to bring this place into utter darkness. It's a city that shines so bright. The Lord is going to make this place dark with the nuclear missiles and his judgments. Right? And he's showing the signs. He blotted out the sun with that solar eclipse. You know, what else? It was something else too that was going on. Blotting out the sun with the solar eclipse. And it was something else. When I think of it, I'll bring it back out. But let's get a precept for verse 4 and 5. Jeremiah 50 and 34, it says, but the one who redeems the strong, but the one who redeems them is strong, which Yahweh Shai. His name is Yahweh. And the Yahweh heaven armies, he will defend them and give them rest again in Israel. But for the people of Babylon, there will be no rest. You see that? So all the charms and witchcraft and its AI technology and its wisdom is useless against the Lord's judgment. Because the people of Babylon will not be at rest. Because they don't have the true power Yahweh Shai. They're trusting in Donald Trump. You know, they're trusting in the elites. They're trusting in the beauty of judgment. They're trusting in the beauty of this place. I almost hit that man. They're trusting in the beauty of this place. And they're drinking that Babylon juice. So the Lord, the highly redeemer, Yahweh Shai, but the one who redeems them strong, his name is Yahweh, Lord of heaven armies. He will defend them. Who is them? That's the elect. And to give them rest again. And what's our rest? Having that everlasting salvation in the kingdom. Right? It says, but for the people of Babylon, there will be no rest. You know? So that's America. The people of America will have no rest, man. They're going to get destroyed by them nuclear missiles. So it's going to be impossible for them to receive rest because they're going to be in torment, getting burnt up by that lake of fire. Right? Let's continue on verse 5. It says, sit in silence, go in the darkness, daughter of Babylonians. No more will you be called the Queen of Kingdoms. So verses 5 through 11 is pretty much, you know, speaking about how, you know, America had charmed the whole world with the witchcraft, the AI technology. You know, everybody's drinking of the cup of the lies of philosophy, you know, believing that this place is so great, you know, influencing to do wickedness and sin. And everybody who's teamed up with America will be destroyed, man. Right here. So a precept from verse 5 in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9 to 11, NLT. For see, the day of the Adonai Yahweh is coming, the terrible day of his fury and fierce anger. Right? Because the Lord, everybody thinks the Lord is coming back with peace for a kumbaya moment. It's gonna be none of that. This ain't no damn kumbaya moment. These people that's out here smiling and laughing while you stand on these corners teaching, they are gonna be the ones that's gonna be tortured and tormented in that lake of fire when the nuclear missiles hit. You know, when these famines and plagues hit and Jacob's trouble is running at an all-time high. When you got people kicking in your doors. We got people kicking in your doors. When you got people, there's the scarcity of food, the scarcity of water. You know, a scarcity of all these different things that, you know, that people are used to having every day. That helps them live in their everyday life. Their comforts. When all their comforts are stripped away, these people are going to be in torments, man. These people ain't going to know how to act. You know, the kids without technology, their tablets. You ever try to take a tablet from a child? That motherfucker throw a bitch fit, right? There's going to be a lot of that going on, man. Right, so let's continue. It says, Isaiah 13 through 9 through 11 NLT, for see the day of Adonai Yahweh is coming. The terrible day of fury and fierce anger. The land will be made desolate and all the sinners destroyed with it. See, the 2/3 that believes in this place, you know, that believes in the elites, that believes in Trump, that believes in all these guys, they're going to be destroyed, man. Right? It says the heavens will be black from above. The stars will give no light. The sun will be dark when it rises, man. Every day is going to be dark and gloomy. You know, it's not going to be a joyous moment when the day of the Lord returns. It's going to be a scary moment, right? You know, these dudes have no idea, you know, how, a lot of people waving today. What the hell is going on? A lot of them Edomites. They don't even know I'm prophesying against the Lord destroying their ass. They have no idea how bad it's going to get when the king of terrors return to the world, man, to come and save his people and to take down these nations and destroy these Edomite nations into 2/3. Right? So let's continue. It says, verse 11, I, the Adonai Yahweh, will punish the world for its evil and the wicked for their sin. Same thing he did with the world the first time when he flooded the earth. How can you say the Lord is all love when he only saved 8 people and a few animals on Noah's ark? It's going to be the same thing here. He's going to only save a remnant of people, the elect, the 144,000. And everything else is going to be set to fire. Even the people that's in it, the one that didn't get saved. It says, I will crush the arrogance of the proud and the humble. I will crush the arrogance of the proud, which is the so-called white man, aka America, and the humble of the pride of the mighty. You see that? So the Lord is going to punish these people. He's going to crush them. All that pride and all that boast that they've been coming out for so long, the Lord is going to bring that place down low, man. Right, so let's continue on verse 6. Again, verse 5, sit in silence, go into darkness, daughter of Babylonians. No more will you be called queen of kingdoms. Verse 6, I was angry with my people and discarded my inheritance. I gave them into your hand, and you showed them no mercy. Even on the age you laid a very heavy load, and that's hardcore bondage of slavery. You know, they put us in the slave, they still got us in a mental slavery today. Right? Working 8 to 10, 12 hours a fucking day. When the scriptures say you're supposed to get paid the same day you work, we get paid a week later, 2 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? You got the big bosses taking the biggest cuts, right? You got, what else? You know, everything is robots, all these different laws that's set up for us and not for them. What's that scripture? It's like they're not as in trouble as, there's not as trouble as we are. They're not as trouble as other men, right? And that's pretty much what's going on, man. It's still we're still in slavery, but it's just mentally now. Everything is spiritual, everything is mentally. On the TV, everything is sexualized. Everything is set up to confuse you. Everything is set up to keep you distracted from what really the fuck is going on, man. Right? So let's continue. Where's that? Verse 6. Right here, we're going to grab a precept for Isaiah chapter 47 and 6. It says, Isaiah 10, 12 to 14 NLT. It says, after the Lord has used his king of Assyria to accomplish his purpose of Mount Zion in Jerusalem, he would turn against King Assyria and punish him for his proud and arrogant. Assyrian will be America today. He boasts, by my own powerful arm I have done this, with my own shrewd wisdom I planned it. I have broken down the defenses of the nations and carried off their treasures. Who was those treasures? That would be the nation of Israel. And that's what America has done. Brought us into slavery, you know, used us as gator bait, raped our men, raped our women, had the sons fucking their mothers. That's what I just found out. That's where the word motherfucker comes from, to humiliate the slave, the big slave man. They will buck break them. They will make the man slaves have sex with their mothers, right? And to keep everything going on, they would take the women in the night and rape them. They would hang us. Hey, y'all know the state of how they did us in slavery, and still to this day they're doing us wrong, right? It's non-stop. So the sins have reached the heavens, and again it says, I was angry with my people and discarded the inheritance because the Lord had put us in captivity on all these nations, but America has done us the worst. The so-called white man has done us the worst more than anybody. I gave them to your hand, and you showed them no mercy. Still to this day, this dumb shit. Still to this day, showing us no mercy. And even the age, so he didn't, Esau spared none, man. He's killing everybody. He's sacrificing everybody. He'll kill his own brother. You know what I'm saying? So of course he destroying us more than he's doing anything else. He knows who we are, so he tries his best to keep us down the best way he can. Like I said, constantly keeping us distracted. Poisoning us with the food, destroying our minds, destroying our immune system because he knows how powerful he are. You know what I'm saying? Trying to blot out the sun because he knows that the sun gives melanated people power. He's doing all kind of different things, man. Right, let's continue. And it says again, verse 13, he boasts by my own powerful arm, I have done this. With my own shrewd wisdom, I have planned it. Again, that's Esau thinking he's done everything on his own. He conquered everything on his own, not knowing that the Lord has gave this man his power and gave this man the authority to do so. I have broken down the defenses of the nations and carried off their treasures. I have knocked down the kings like a bull. I have robbed their nest of riches and gathered up kingdoms as the farmer gathers eggs. No one can even flap a wing against me or utter a peace protest. You see that? And that's how America thinks today. Again, big bag and boastful. He want to speak all bad and bring threats, but again, every other week, this man is out here, negotiating with Iran and trying to make negotiations so Iran will have the nuclear missiles because they know Iran gonna fuck some shit up. Another precept for verse 6, Revelation. Nope, that ain't for verse 6. That was only for verse 7. All right, go back. We're gonna start at 6 down to 7. Isaiah 47:6. I was angry with my people, and this sacred, my inheritance, I gave into your hand and showed them no mercy, even on the aged. You laid a very heavy load. Verse 7. You said I would continue forever. This is the eternal queen, but you did not consider these things or reflect on what might happen. Again, that's what I just read in verse 6. Again, verse 13, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 13, he boasts by my own powerful arm, I have done this. With my own shrewd wisdom, I have planned it. See that? So Esau think he got this power by his own wisdom. This nigga is nothing but a caveman that was blessed with the powers, man. He is the vilest man on the earth. You can read that in the book of Job, chapter 5 and 30. I believe that he's more violent than the earth. He is the man of sin, the man of lawlessness. He think he got this on his own, man, but the Lord is going to bring this man down low and show that he's nothing but a caveman. That's what I read in Daniel, again, chapter 4, verses 30 to 33. How he brought down low Nebuchadnezzar. He's going to do the same thing with the Edomite nations. Right? Let's continue. Revelation chapter 18, verse 7. For the precept of Isaiah chapter 47 and 7, it says, she glorified herself and lived in luxury so much, so match it now with torment and sorrow. See, so America's glorified in herself. She thinks she's self-sufficient. She think no one can bring her down because they got the best military might. They don't get in trouble like everybody else. The laws are set up for us and not them. We can't get away with raping a woman. You know what I'm saying? If one of the Jake was raping a woman, they'll give them 50,000 years in prison. But let alone some rich Edomite kid rape a woman in school, and to save that school, they'll try to bury that news article about the young man raping the woman, and then give him a pass by giving him probation and house arrest. They are not in trouble as other men. I think that's Proverbs 73 or Psalm 73. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so let's continue. Ooh, my hand's cold as hell. Let's continue. And it says, so now match it with torment and sorrow, that's the nuclear missiles and the lake of fire, how America's going to be destroyed with the famines and the pestilence and the scarcity of their comforts. She boasts in her heart, I am a queen on my throne. I am no helpless widow. I have no reason to mourn. And that's America right now. Donald Trump is telling all these different nations, hey, you better watch your ass because I'm coming to take over you next like I did Venezuela. Bragging and boasting, thinking they can't be brought down low. He only did that to show his power. So all these different nations are still somewhat trembling to a certain degree. But the Lord allowed him to do that. So when the Lord returns, he can show that this man isn't who the hell he says he is. Right? So let's continue. Verse 7 through 8. You said I would continue forever, the eternal queen, because America, the Statue of Liberty. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call it the queendom. But you did not consider the things or reflect on what might happen. Verse 8. Now then, listen. Oh, yeah. Shalom. Now listen, you wanton creature lunging for your security. and say to yourself, I am there as there is no one beside me, I will never be a widow. Same thing I just read in Revelation chapter 18, verse 7. Verse 9, both of these will overtake you, and in a moment, on a single day, loss of children and a widowhood, they shall come upon you in full measure, in spite of your many sorceries and all your potent spells. That's what we're going to, AI technology, all the high value things that Esau has set up, the military might, the AI technology, all these different things to help him be such a proud, boastful man. But let's grab a precept for Isaiah 49 and 8. We're going to go to Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 15, NLT. This is a boaster city, one so secure. I am the greatest, it boasted. No other city can compare with me. But now look, it has become an utter ruin, a heaven for wild animals. Everyone passing by will laugh in derision and shake a defiant fist. You see that? They're going to laugh at this place. And they're going to be happy that this place is destroyed, because we're not going to be under Esau's enchantments anymore. We're not going to be taken over by a wicked-ass king now. He is an unwise king that acts like a child. That's why it says, what is it? Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Roughly paraphrasing. That's pretty much what everybody's going to be doing right now. Everybody's mourning. They have to comply with America when they know America's going to come, do what they... Okay. They know America's going to come and continue to do what they're doing now, man. Setting up shop in their countries and all these different things. Right? And another precept for verse 9, Isaiah 47 and 9, it says, out of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 2 to 3, and it says, for you know quite well that the day of the Lord's return will come unexpectedly, like a thief in the night. You see that? So while everybody is drinking and making merry, having a good time, everybody's, laughing and smiling, making mockery of the man of the Lord. That's why the Lord said we have to be foolish. We have to be foolish for the Lord's sake. We out here looking crazy, but goddamn it, we know the future. We know the outcome. We know our reward is going to be everlasting salvation by doing this and having faith in Habashiach Shah. And we know their outcome. It's going to be torment and sorrow out of the nuclear missiles in the lake of fire. So they continue laugh and smile now. Pretty much what's going on right now, what I just said. And the precepts for you, it says, for you know quite well that the day of the Lord's return has come unexpected, like a thief in the night. It says, well, people are saying everything is peaceful and secure. This disaster will follow them as suddenly as a pregnant woman labor pains to begin, and there will be no escape. See that? So the Lord is going to destroy this place in 1 hour. Right? The Lord is going to come suddenly and destroy America. At least when everybody expected, because the Lord has everybody thinking like, hey, we are secure. We got the greatest military. We just took over Mandoro. We're about to go get Cuba, about to go get Mexico. We're about to go tear up some more nations. We had talks trying to act all big and bad against Iran. In our reality, they're over there pleading and begging Iran to get rid of their uranium enrichment, so they can't make them nuclear missiles, and begging Iran not to, build up their military might. But the Lord is putting the spirits on these people to do so. Right? Let's continue on that again, verse 9. Like I said, everything is peaceful and secure. That's how these people are feeling right now. They still got their comforts. They still can sleep quietly in their beds at night. But soon the Lord is going to come and shock the world, man. The Lord is going to make the grand finale on this place, America, that everybody loves so much. Another precept, Revelation 18, verses 8 through 10, it says, therefore these plagues will overtake her in a single day. Who is that her? That's America, aka Babylon. Death and mourning and famine. She will be completely consumed by fire. For the Adonai Yahweh, the God who judges her is mighty. See that? So it's going to be completely on fire, and that's that lake of fire. And the kings of the world who committed adultery with her, enjoyed her great luxury, will mourn for her as they see the smoke rising for her charred remains. They will stand at a distance, terrified at her great torment. They will cry out, how terrible for you, O Babylon, your city. In a single moment, God's judgment came for you. You see that? So the Lord is showing like, hey, in a single moment, in a blink of an eye, I'm going to come and destroy this place within 1 hour. The greatest city that you think is so great that can't be destroyed, that's such a beautiful city that everybody loves, I'm going to destroy this place in 1 hour. So mourn for her. And that's what he's saying. All the elites, all the people who trust, all the power and all the influence that Esau has put up into America to make this place such a great city, the Lord is going to bring it down in 1 hour, man. It took them years to build this place up. It took them years to make America what it is today. It took them years to make America, their military like I said, it took them years to build up the military might that they have today. It took them years to build up the AI technology that they have today. And all in 1 hour, the infrastructure and everything with America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Completely. Right? So let's go 9 to 10. But these things will overtake you in a moment, on a single day, what I just read, Revelation 18, 8 to 10. I believe I just read. Let me see that again. I don't want to butcher it. Say it again. Yep, so verse 9 I had the precepts, 1 Thessalonians 5, 2 and 3 out of NLT, and Revelation, 18, 8 through 10 NLT. That's the precepts for verse 9. Now we're going to do 9 to 10 again. It says both of these will overtake you in a moment, on a single day. They will come upon you in full measure, in spite of your many sorceries and all your potent spells. That's, like I said, that's all the AI technology, all the high value things that Esau has set up to make America so great. Verse 10, you have trusted in your wickedness, you have said no one sees me. Your wisdom and knowledge misled you when you say to yourself, I am, and there is no one beside me. Disaster will come upon you, and you will know how to conjure it, how to conjure it away. How to conjure it away. A calamity will fall upon you, and they cannot ward off a ransom, and catastrophe you cannot foresee will certainly come upon you. All right, so let's grab a precept of verse 10. Again, it says, you have trusted in your wickedness, you have said no one sees me. Your wisdom and your knowledge misled you. That's that book of Obadiah. The heart of that pride hath deceived thee. See, Esau think he's getting away with it, like I said, because this place has been untouched. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been conquered yet, right? He hasn't suffered any consequences yet. So he's thinking, okay, I got away with it. You know what I'm saying? I can do what I want, man. The Lord ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? That's what they feed the people. Right? But here's the book of Isaiah for a precept. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 15 through 16. What sorrow awaits those who try to hide their plans from the Adonai Yahweh, who do evil deeds in the dark. That's Esau eating the so-called white man. Everything they do is in wickedness. They do it like the Lord can't see them. That's how stupid and dumb they really are. You know, even though Esau has his power, he's still a complete fucking idiot. Right? The dude's out of his goddamn mind. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker think that the Lord ain't watching. He think nobody's paying attention to him. You know, he's caught up in his own pride to the point where he thinks that the Lord is not paying attention to the things he's doing. But again, this is what the Lord says in the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 15 to 16. Verse 15, what sorrow awaits those who try to hide their plans from the Adonai Yahweh. That goes into the two-thirds too. It says, who do their evil deeds in the dark. The Adonai Yahweh can't see us, they say. He doesn't know what's going on. How foolish can you be? That's what the Lord asks. How foolish can you idiots be? He is the potter. He is certainly greater than you, the clay. See, the Lord created all this. This is his move. Now, Esau is so self-sufficient. He's so proud and so arrogant that he thinks he got it on his own. He thinks he's done everything on his own by his wisdom and his AI technology and his military might and his thoughts and his own wisdom. But his wisdom is useless, and it's not going to save him in the time of judgment. His riches, his AI technology, is not going to save him in the time of judgment of eternity. How about Shah? Verse 16 again, how foolish can you be? He is the potter, is certainly greater than you, the clay. Should the created thing say to one who made it, he didn't make me? Does a jar ever say the potter who made me is stupid? You see that? And so that's how dumb Esau is, man. Dumber than a box of fucking rocks. More violent than the earth, a complete fucking caveman idiot who is blessed with the powers. There's no way in hell a so-called white man, a man of Esau's stature, could come up with an AI technology alone without the Lord giving him the wisdom to do so. There's no way in hell we could come up with these scriptures on our own without the Lord giving us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So what the fuck makes a caveman, Esau, even a so-called white man, think that he could come up with the AI technology of his own if we can't even read these scriptures by ourselves and understand them and break them down without the Holy Spirit, Yahweh Shah. Right? Another precept, Isaiah chapter 5, verse 21. What sorrow awaits those who are wise in their own eyes and thinking that they are so clever? That's Esau. And so much sorrow and so much pain is waiting upon this man. The Lord is going to come back and embarrass this man and put this man to shame. Right now, what he's doing is only a little bit. It's only the beginning of sorrows. But soon he's going to bring him to complete shame by destroying him and embarrassing him completely, by wiping out his military and completely devastating this place, making this place a complete desert within 1 hour. Right? Now 10 through 11, Isaiah chapter 47, verse 10 through 11. It says, you have trusted in your wickedness and said no one sees me, and your wisdom and knowledge misled you. When you said to yourself, I am there, no one's beside me. Verse 11, disaster will come upon you and you will not know how to conjure it away. A calamity will fall on you that you cannot ward off with a ransom. So you can't pay off this judgment that's about to come, no matter how much riches you have, No matter how wise you think you really are. It's not going to save you in the time of trouble when the Adonai Yahweh returns, man. Let's continue. It says, a catastrophe you cannot foresee will suddenly come upon you. Right? So let's grab a precept for verse 11. It says, 1 Thessalonians 5:3, when the people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, again, I already brought this out, then disaster will fall upon them as suddenly as a pregnant woman in labor pain. So this is going to happen out of nowhere. These people are not going to know what happened to them once this shit kicks off, man. Right? We still got to go through the MOTB, the market that beats the R4D microchip, and everything is happening fast. Everything is moving really quick. And, you know, Esau, to a certain degree, knows that these things are going to happen. He knows his time is almost up, which is why he's ramping up things and trying to, you know, take over Iran and take over these other nations. But in reality, the Lord is ramping it up so he can come back and save his people and destroy Esau, even the so-called white man. Now we're going to read 11 through 12. We almost done. Verse 11, disaster will come upon you, where you will not know how to conjure it away. A calamity will fall upon you that you cannot ward off with a ransom. A catastrophe you cannot foresee will suddenly come upon you. See that? So, hey, the Lord is going to come out of nowhere like a thief in the night. He's going to suddenly come and destroy Babylon, man. Verse 12, keep on then with your magic spells and with your harmony sources, which you have labored at since childhood. See, it's embedded in them. It's embedded in them to make all these blood sacrifices and all these wicked-ass enchantments and their sorceries and witchcraft voodoo bullshit that Esau has been portraying since the day he stepped foot on earth. If you watch, it's this movie called The Northman with Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke is a great actor. He played in Training Day. But it's this movie called The Northman. And if you watch the movie, those fucking Vikings, those Vikings that were white, they were Edomite, they were like complete fucking wild animals, man. They used the magic and sorcery and all the witchcraft voodoo bullshit to help them and to really help them, and it gave them real deal powers when they went to go fight, man. Kind of like when we had the powers of Habashah, we had the Holy Spirit. They have the true powers of, you know, of whoever they believed in. You know what I'm saying? But if you watch that movie, it's a good movie actually, but it's quite fucking crazy when you see some of the shit. Oh, fat ass. Two all them big ass bitches in the car got that bitch sliding down. When you see some of the shit that they got going on, man, it's really crazy, right? So let's keep on verse 12 to 13. And it says, we almost done. Verse 12, keep on then with your magic spells and your many sorceries, which you have labored at since childhood. Perhaps you will succeed. Perhaps you will cause terror. And the Lord has allowed this man to succeed at a lot of the things he's done. Like I said, similar to what he's done with Pharaoh. Pharaoh would have been let the Israelites go because he didn't want no smoke with the Lord for real. They knew how bad it could get, but the Lord hardened his heart and he wouldn't let him go so the Lord could show his power, similar to what he's going to do now with America, right? He's allowing Esau to succeed at everything, pretty much at everything he's doing right now. So when he does return, it's going to, you know, it's going to shock everybody. You know, the Lord is going to show his power, like the man that you believe in, the man that you trust in, the so great and high mighty man that you love. I'm going to embarrass this man and bring him down low and show you that he ain't shit. And that's how the Lord going to be with these men. Verse 13. All the counsel you have received has only warned you out. Right? By their own wisdom, it's only warned them out. Let your astrologers come forward. Let the stargazers make predictions month by month. Let them save you from what is coming into you. So everything that they believe in, like I said, the witchcraft and all their gods and all these different things, that's not going to save you in the time of trouble. That's the people they're going to have to stand on when their time of trouble come in. Right? They're going to have to stand on their astrologers and their false gods and their false religions and their sorceries and their riches and all this different bullshit, the AI technology that they promote. Right, so let's grab a precept for 13, Jeremiah 51, 57 to 58. I will make her officials a wise man's drunk, along with her captive officers and warriors. They will fall asleep and never wake up again, says the king whose name is Adonai Yahweh, Lord of heaven army. So the Lord is going to not embarrass him, but he's going to put these dudes to sleep. He's going to put them to death. Right? It says, verse 58, this is what Adonai Yahweh says. The thick walls of Babylon will be leveled to the ground, and her massive gates will be burnt. The builders from many lands have worked in vain, and their work will be destroyed by fire. So everybody is of a high stature. They're astrologers, you know, they're these pastors, they're these entertainers, these elites, inciting Brian started that think they is. Again, like it says, we'll make her officials and wise men drunk, along with the captain officers and warriors. That's the elites, that's the military power. That's all your actors and entertainers, everybody that has something of a high status. It says the Lord will make them drunk and they will fall asleep and never wake them again. So the Lord is going to put them to death, right? And then the Lord is going to destroy Babylon. The thick walls of Babylon will be leveled to the ground. The massive gates will be burned. The builders of many lands, the lands have worked in vain, and their works will be destroyed by fire. That's the nuclear missiles in the lake of fire, man. Because America is going to be that actual lake of fire. There is no hell. We are in hell right now. Our hell is Esau's heaven. Esau's heaven is our hell, however you want to put it. And our heaven, when we get into power, that's gonna be Esau's hell, because they're gonna be going through a lot of similar things, but even a much more case than what we went through. Right. So let's go to verse 14 through 15. And surely they will stubble, and surely they are like stubble. The fire will burn them up. They cannot even save themselves from the power of the flame. See that? So all these entertainers, actors, the people of a high value and status, they're not going to be able to save themselves. The sorcery is not going to be able to save them. The AI technology is not going to be able to save them. The riches is not going to be able to save them, man. Right? They cannot even save themselves from the power of the flame. That's the lake of fire. Here are no coals to warm anyone. Here is no fire to sit by. This is all they can do for you. These you have labored with and trafficked with since childhood. Each of them goes into his own error. There was no one that can save us. There's no one that can save Esau, even a so-called white man. Nothing that he brings out that he thinks by his own wisdom he's brought out to save this man. Let's grab the last precept. Isaiah 10, verse 16 through 17 out of NLT. Therefore the Adonai Yahweh, Lord of heaven armies, will send a plague among Assyria, proud troops, and a flaming fire will consume his glory. Assyria will be aka America today. The Adonai Yahweh, the light of Israel, will be a fire, and the Holy One be a flame, and will devour the thorns and the bears of fire, burning the enemy in a single night. Because after 1,000 years of Esau, Edom being knocked out of power and being put into slavery and captivity, we are going to burn his ass up, and he's going to be wiped out. All of Esau and his family tree is going to be wiped off the face of the earth. Right? There's nothing that Esau can do to save himself. Not his sorceries, not his astrologers, not the man of high status, not the riches. None of those things will be able to save this man, man. He will be completely and utterly destroyed. Right? So at the end of the day, Esau can say whatever he wants and brag and boast all day long. We know that it's of Yahweh Shah. We know that it's of the Lord. We know that it comes from Yahweh Shah. We know this man didn't get it by himself. Right? So again, I truly hope this lesson was edifying. That was the lesson. We're going to turn to face the east. We're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Bakakadash. Again, all praise and double honor to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. I truly hope this lesson was edifying. Lord willing, the Lord come back, destroy this place quick, ready to get the fuck up out of here, man. But it's ramping up though, so truly hope the lesson was edifying. Salawam.